Join the Dodge Rebellion with the Dodge Boys.
Now, the whole Scat Pack moniker harkens back to the old days, 68 to 71. They literally had a Scat Pack club all around the cars that wore that badging. Today it means a Challenger with a 6.4 Hemi, Bilstein high-performance suspension, and Brembo 4-pot calipers all around. And if you tick the right option box, cool graphics with an angry bumblebee. They used to have a lot of Mopar fun with the names of colors in those days. This car, for example, is a throwback called Toured. Get it? They also just brought back Plum Crazy, and I'd pay any amount of money to check the option box to get a houndstooth check interior. Now, we are not looking at King of the Hill on Challengers here. Above this, you've got SRT, and above that, of course, you've got the Hellcat. But those are both above 50 grand base. This is the ultimate Challenger for working man's money. Now, hopping in a Scat Pack Challenger, you're greeted right away by a little Scat Pack Bumblebee embroidery and a special animation that wakes up when you key the thing on. Now, Scat Pack cars come with the uprated screen, the 8.4-inch Uconnect head unit. People run hot and cold on this. There's an awful lot of powerful stuff going on here. I mean, everything is configured as an app, as they call it. The problem is it's too literally like a tablet. That's not really what you want in a car. It can become kind of a multi-layered mess pretty quickly. Navigation, by the way, is a really clean, great-looking thing, including the fact that it's got this nice Garmin layout that's as easy as anything on the road to use. I mean, where to? That's the way to enter a destination. Give me an address. Voice command is hit and miss like every car, but that navigation's not standard, by the way. Even on this uprated car, it's another $800. Now, the coolest differentiator on a Scat Pack or high-performance Challenger is performance control and performance settings. This is where you will set up things like the launch mode trigger, 3,000 RPM or higher or lower, wherever you want that. And that's where you can go in and decide which of the 4 parameters you want set what way. Notice you've got 3 ways to set your steering feel for both sport and standard mode. On this car, you do not have the option, though, of an adjustable suspension. You got to go up to SRT to get that. Your other cool screen is performance pages, and here you've got everything for track day. You can hit your timers, various types of lap timers that build a history. You've got 2 different sets of auxiliary video gauges, a G-force meter, and a nice little nested gauge that shows instantaneous torque and horsepower delivery. Now, more's the pity that I've got nice red sheet metal here. I'd rather see a big old hole. That would mean I have the shaker option with a cold air intake peeking up through the hole, shaking back and forth as you rev the engine. It makes no difference in terms of the numbers, but it sure does look good. Now, as to those numbers, this is a 6.4-liter push rods, no direct injection. It's got sequential multi-port instead, like we've had since what, the early 90s? 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque. 2 transmission possibilities. A 6-speed manual that all you purists are going, oh yeah. And then there's the smart choice, an 8-speed automatic. You heard me. It's a beautiful ZF automatic, the HP70, found in recent BMW 7 Series, Maserati Quattros, and several Aston Martins. It brings more than just 2 more cogs to the party. It rolls up with it the multi-displacement engine, which idles unused cylinders when cruising. That means 25 mpg average versus 23 with a stick.
This automatic is a really good gearbox. It's not that slushy mess you think it is. Crisp shifts under its own control. It's also very nice under the paddles. And the stability control gets dialed back just right to save you but not be overly intrusive. If you get this car on the track, you're going to find it's actually a very tossable, handleable, big old chunk of 4,200 pounds of Mopar. It cuts and darts a lot better than its weight and its look would suggest. Still a lot of car. I want to autocross this thing in the worst way. Get out there with a bunch of little Porsches and Miatas. Now, launch mode, of course, sure is handy in a car like this, and even it has its hands full. Getting all that to the ground, little fishtail, little break loose, but now we're getting our grip as we approach 3 digits. I think 120 is good enough for me, thank you. And by the way, 60 comes up in about 4.5 seconds.
The high-performance suspension by Bilstein and 14.2-inch discs with 4-pot Brembos all around gives you a street personality that follows the road. On nice pavement, this is a really comfortable daily car, added by that adjustable steering effort. But when the pavement goes to hell, the ride quality goes with it, and you wish you drove your Pacifica today. Okay, decisions. The Scat Pack Challenger is going to run you about $39,000. $4,000 more for the Shaker Hood car because that rolls in a leather interior and a whole bunch of other niceties in the cabin. I'm a little torn because I want to keep this price down per our thesis. So I'm going to stay with the non-Shaker car, then I'm going to load up some options to get CNET style, including the convenience group, the Harman Kardon audio that requires leather anyway, the technology group, that a la carte navigation I talked about. Now, more controversial is going to be that automatic transmission. I say yes. That's an incredible high-tech 8-speed gearbox that is no slouch. It also brings with it a multi-displacement cylinder deactivation version of that same 6.4 Hemi. That's going to save you fuel all the time and a $1,000 gas guzzler tax up front. It's a sweet package, and it's the faster car unless you're a race driver, and you're not. Finally, there's that sunroof. That's going to be controversial. Some are going to say it dilutes the track purpose of this car. I say live a little. This is not a lightweight car to begin with. A little more apparatus up high is not going to do anything meaningful to your center of gravity. All in, we're at about $47,000 the way I would do it. You've got a good flow of cash going out of your pocket versus testosterone coming your way from Detroit. This is the sweet spot. More cars driven CNET style. Standing by now at cnetoncars.com. Click on the road.